Connor McDavid gets to point number 1,000 as the Oilers win their third in a row. Hey everyone, welcome into Oil Spills. This episode brought to you by Milani Plumbing and Heating, Edmonton's first choice when it comes to plumbing and heating. Rob Wong joined alongside by Robert Tychkowski of the Edmonton Journal. And Rob, as you wrote in your most recent piece up on the Edmonton Journal, you knew this day was coming before Connor McDavid had even completed his first NHL season. And here he is, 659 games later, hitting career point number 1,000 to go along with career point number 1001 on the OT winner. The list of individual accomplishments is quite a long one for Connor McDavid, but what can you really say for a guy who becomes the fourth youngest in NHL history to do this?
Yeah, it's just a truly remarkable feat. And then when you kind of compare it to the players who have done it in the past, it even adds to the lore, because I think of the top 12 fastest players to get to 1,000 points, they were all from the 80s and 90s. He's the only player of his era against better goalies, against better defensive structure, against better opposition, who's been able to score at this pace. And none of the current generation of players are even close. I think when you look at maybe some of the comparables, Nathan MacKinnon's played 108 games and still at 932 points, right? Over 150 more games and 100 fewer points, just about. Kucherov, 740 games, 900 points. Austin Matthews, he used to be, what they used to call him 1A. He needs 340 points in his next 84 games to do it as fast as McDavid did. So there's just, he's pulling away from everybody and inching his way up to, Gretzky, Lemieux, that type of territory. He's, on the Mount Rushmore of hockey.
Yeah, it really is in a class of his own as far as this era goes. So as nice as the individual accomplishment is, we know Connor McDavid has bigger goals when it comes to this team. But of late, Rob, 7-3 in their last 10. A lot of the conversation early on in the season was about how poorly it was going for this Oilers team. But it seems as if they have turned a corner here. What are you seeing over this last 10-game stretch that maybe wasn't happening earlier this year?
Just a little bit of momentum, finding ways to lose. You can still see the holes in their game. They've blown third period leads in 3 of their last 4 games. The power play is not where it used to be last year, but they're grinding out ways. They've won a couple of overtime games at home where they blew the lead, and they're just, they're getting the timely goals, timely saves here and there. There's still some holes. The special teams aren't where they need to be. The offense isn't where it needs to be. And obviously when you're blowing those types of leads, the shutdown defense isn't where it needs to be, but they're getting over the hangover and maybe that period of mourning that stemmed from losing Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final and digging in a little bit and heading into the heart of this season with a little bit of momentum. But there's a long way to go before they're the same team they were late last year.
Well, you mentioned Austin Matthews. Unfortunately, he will not be playing in the game on Saturday night, but a big one nonetheless for the Oilers as they square off against the Maple Leafs on Hockey Night in Canada. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Robert Tychkowski, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.